Hello there, Miss Shibley here with your skills lesson for today, and we are on lesson 17. We will be learning about tricky words and spelling alternatives. Our I can, or what I will learn for today are, I can read previously taught tricky words. I can write the sound spellings, including spelling alternatives for 8 consonant sounds. So an example of that is the letters that make the N sound, which we know is N, NN, and KN. So that would be spelling alternatives. So different ways of writing the same sound. I can read supper with purpose and understanding, and I can answer written short answer questions about the story Supper. Ready? Tricky words. So the tricky words are going to pop up on the screen just like flashcards. And you can say it as soon as you know it. And I'll say them too. Ready? A. I. No. So. Of. All. Some. From. Word. Are. Were. Have. One. Once. To. Do. To. Who. And this 2 right here is the number 2. The, said, says, was, when, where, why, what, which, here, there, he, she, we, be, me, they, their, you, your, because, could, should, would, down, today, yesterday, tomorrow, how, and the word picture. Okay, now it is time for sound dictation, and you need a paper and a pencil and your listening skills. This is the part where we are going to write our alternative sound spellings. And I'm going to tell you how many different ways there are to spell the sound that you hear. And you're going to try to write the ways that you can think of. And it's okay if you don't get them all, because there's a lot of them, but you've been working so hard, I'm pretty sure you can get them all. Ready? The first one is the sound ch, and there are 2 ways to spell the sound ch. Let's do this one together. You could spell ch using the letters CH and TCH. And there they are. They're up on the screen. Those are for the sound ch. Okay, ready? You could do this one on your own. So, there are 3 different ways to spell this sound. The sound n. Okay, and again is the sound n. And if you need a second, you can go ahead and pause the video. Oh, there's our 3 ways. N, NN, and KN all say the sound n. Ready for number 3? There are 2 ways to spell this sound. G. Okay, and remember that sound is G. What 2 ways can you think of to write the sound G. You're right, G and GG. There are two ways to spell this sound. What two ways can you think of? Make sure you're writing them on your paper and then checking your screen to see if you're correct. Ready? M and MM both make the sound Okay, ready? We have 4 more sounds to write the spellings for. Ready? This one has 3 ways that you can spell the sound. Z. And again, that sound is Z. Okay, let's see. Did you get them all? Z, S, and ZZ can all make the sound Z. Awesome. Okay, number 6. There are 4 different ways to spell this sound. S. Okay, and again, that sound is S. Let's see what they are. CE, SE, S, and SS all make the sounds S. Okay, number 7. Ready? There are 3 ways to spell the sound J. That sound again is J. J, G, and GE all say J. Okay, our last one, number 8. There are 2 ways to spell the sound ul. And again, our sound is ul. Okay, let's see what they are. L and LL. Great job using your listening ears to write our sound spellings. And it's our story time. Okay, today the story is called Supper. And supper is another word for dinner. People have different words for evening meals all across the country. And here are some of our spellings that we need to know before we can read our story. I'm ready to turn on Mr. Pointer here. Okay, so we are working with the W sound made with WH. We have whip, when, and wheel. And we have the N sound made with KN, knocks, and knife. Then we have the S sound made with SE for house. And then on this side, we have 2-syllable words. Invites, chickens, muffins, and frosting. Here are our vocabulary and our sayings and phrases for today. Our first word is greens, which are leafy green plants that you can eat, such as in a salad. An example of that is we had fresh greens with lunch yesterday. And we have our next word is toots, which means beeps or honks. An example of that is Bailey toots the horn on her new bike. And here's our sayings and phrases for today. At the wheel, driving a car or other vehicle. An example of that is my uncle was at the wheel and I was in the back seat on the way to school today. And then red velvet. It's a red-colored cake, usually topped with cream cheese and flavored frosting. An example of that is my cousin always asks for red velvet cake on her birthday. Ready? You can read along with me. We are on page 50, so let's read together with my pointer. Ready? Supper. Grace invites two of her pals from soccer to visit her house for supper. They are twin sisters. Their names are Kim and Jane Knox. Grace and her mom spend the morning cooking. They gather fresh greens from the garden. They cook 2 chickens in a big pan. They bake fresh corn muffins and a cake. Grace gets to crack the eggs and mix the cake. Her mom lets her whip up the frosting too. And, best of all, she gets to lick the spoon when the frosting is finished. At 6, a car drives up and toots the horn. Mr. Knox is at the wheel. That's them! Grace shouts. She runs out to meet her classmates. Okay, we're turning the page. Now we're on page 52. They sit down for dinner. Kim Knox cuts the chicken with her knife. Yum, she says. This chicken is the best. It's so much better than the stuff our dad makes. Jane nods. She would tell Grace how good the chicken is, but her mouth is stuffed with chicken. Save room for cake, Grace says. After supper, Grace brings in the cake she and her mom made. She helps her mom slice up the cake. Ooh, says Kim. What sort of cake is it? Red velvet, says Grace. Yum, says Kim. Can we visit next weekend too? Awesome reading with me. Okay, now we are on to our discussion questions. Who is coming over for supper? Kim and Jane Knox, who are Grace's classmates and pals for soccer, are coming over for supper. Number 2. What are Grace and her mom cooking for supper? Grace and her mom make 2 chickens, corn muffins, and a cake for supper. Number 3. Why does Kim say she wants to visit next weekend too? And how do you know? Kim says that she wants to visit next weekend because she wants to have dinner with them again. And you know that because she says, yum, this chicken is the best. It's so much better than the stuff our dad makes. Ready for our questions? Hey, you need activity page 17.1. And at the bottom, it has the number 75. Okay, ready? Put your name and the date at the top of your paper. And today's date is May 21st, 2020. Don't forget, you can pause whenever you need to. Number 1. Why are Kim and Jane Knox at Grace's house? Okay, so we're going to use part of the question to rephrase it. So we're going to say, Kim and Jane are at Grace's house. And then we need to answer the question. So they are at Grace's house for dinner, or they are at Grace's house because she invited them. And you could go back to page 50 if you need to. Don't forget, you could pause the video. Okay, ready? Number 2, list the steps Grace takes to make the cake with her mom. First, Grace cracks the and mixes the, then she helps whip the frosting. And that is also on page 50. But you need to copy it and fill in the blanks. So first, Grace cracks the blank and mixes the blank. Then she helps whip the frosting. Okay, turn the page. Number 3. If you had a supper at your house, what would you serve? Okay, and I can't answer this one with you, but I did help you start to answer it. If I had a supper at my house, I would serve, and then you can fill in what you would serve. Don't forget to send your teacher a picture.